Hey guys, Jeremy here, and today we are doing a live stream. I didn't get to post a video this past Monday because I've been working 10 hours a day every day, so I was exhausted, but I did go ahead and take today off, so I got to rest up, and I noticed my plants are getting kind of bushy, so we're going to go ahead and trim that down, and you'll see how I do it live without time lapses. So, go ahead and grab my tools. I have straight pinchers with a curved end, and my scissors of choice are these curvy ones. It's nice to get like around corners, around the edge of the tank, or around your rocks, or just around stuff in general. So what I will go ahead and do is, for these plants up top, I like to grab this and open it up, get all the plants inside, squeeze, and then cut along the edge. So that way I can pull up all the edge of the plant that I don't want that's getting too bushy. So I can pull all of that out at one go. But I do not have my glass tray on the floor, so let me go grab that real quick. Okay, got my glass tray. You've seen my other videos, you know I like to use a glass tray so I don't have to like go far to dump my plants. I can just drop them right in front. So here's a piece of grass. We can replant that in a minute. Now, I know I do have, here's another piece of grass. I know I do have babies, so I will like shake the plants a little bit before I cut into them. Try to scare any fish that are in there out of there so I don't hurt them. So we are going to bush this together and all of this together. Open this. That is a lot of plants right there. So go ahead and hit it a little bit, try to get the fish to swim out, and then snip. And just like that. Big, huge chunk of plants. Drop that in my glass tray, and I keep going. This one is getting a little too tall, so I will clip her about down here. Maybe it'll give me some more dense growth. These clippings, you can replant them to get more, but if you do, then you're just gonna have, more of this plant. So I tend to like give them to my brother because he has a fish tank. So we'll drop that in there. I'm gonna trim off this leaf and this leaf because it is blocking light from getting down over here to where I have no grass because for some reason it's been uprooted. So here's one strand. We can go ahead and push that into the gravel here. For any of you joining now, I am simply just live streaming me replanting my tank. I'm using the front-facing camera on my phone, so I do have to check it periodically to be able to see what you guys are commenting, if anybody is even commenting. I haven't checked it yet. You know, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna look at that real quick. Hey Mickey, nice looking flex. I'm planting, wait no, it went away, there you go. I'm planting out a new 240 liter fluval at the minute. So we're basically doing the same thing then, aren't we, huh? Well, I hope it all goes well for you. I hope my videos are at least semi-helpful. I am pretty new at this myself, so maybe you can teach me something one day. I'm gonna get back over here and let's see. That piece of grass is coming out of the ground a little bit. I'll stick that in there, cover the roots up with some more gravel. This Java moss has gotten ginormous. I could probably cut this thing in half and sell it at the fish store. There's a dead leaf in there. And it is dirty. You know what? I think I'm going to pull that out of the tank and rinse it. Let's see if it's stuck in here pretty good or if it'll come out easily. Oh, it's starting to grow onto the rock. So it doesn't want to get pulled off. Well, dang it. I think I'll just cut it in half. For the Java moss, I use the same method. I spread this apart, pinch the plant together, get all the way around it, and then I'll cut behind, so that way I'll pull out the whole piece in one go. So, let's see. Wow, this thing has a lot of straying strands. Probably because I almost never cut it. This is awkward to work with. There we go. Alright. That's decent. I kind of like it there. I'm going to move the tripod real quick so you can see it from my angle. There we go. So, let's see. Oh, Mickey. LOL, I'm new myself. Your videos on the flex did help convince me to also get the larger flex. Yeah, I always liked the larger tank. I would get a bigger one, but due to my the size of my room and where I wanted it, I had to settle for this. But I am actually very, very happy with it. There's countless possibilities for aquascaping it, and surprisingly enough, the light itself will help grow the plants. It's strong enough to grow the plants. So I'm happy that you made the same decision I did, and I'm also happy we're both happy with it. Let's go ahead and trim that right there. And there's a piece of grass floating up to the top now. I wonder why that grass isn't rooting well. Well, it's probably because I didn't have CO2 to help it root. Okay. That is a very nice chunk of Java moss right there. I might actually save that and shove it into the hole on the bottom. Okay, we're gonna trim around the top a little. A little tip for when you're cutting your plants, for me at least, it's easier to see through the top off the pump, because then you don't have all the ripples on top blocking your view. The water will be nice and still, and then you can see what you're doing. Get all of those sticking up. Grab it, see where it's caught, and cut it so I can pull her out. Oh no, I do not want that in there. That is an ugly piece of an ugly piece of algae. Let's see. We'll go there. And snip, snip, there we go. I'm trying just to like round it off so there's not as many stray strands and, you know, make it look pretty. I'm gonna need my little net to go around and catch all of these. I'm gonna go grab my little net. Has anybody else commented? Alright. So, we will... There we go. There we go. Get some more out of there. Yeah. One second. Alright. Plant this piece of grass back over here. Let me bring y'all back around to the front. Alright. Man, I hate that it looks so overexposed like that. I hope you guys can get a good idea of it. So, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, a lot of algae buildup on these over here. So we'll go ahead and cut those out of the tank. And turning off your filter like this just for a little while, whether it be 30 minutes or even an hour and a half, it's not gonna harm your fish, especially since you have live plants, because the plants will continuously produce the oxygen for your fish and continuously feed on all of the chemicals in the water to keep it healthy for them. But I am going to need some auto cats pretty soon, because after trimming away and trimming away, I'm starting to see a lot more algae in here than I thought there was. A little bit is normal, a lot is just annoying. It's not pleasant to look at, a lot of algae. Alright, I'm gonna trim these way back because these things grow way too fast. So I'll put down the scissors and get my hands wet. So we are going to bunch all of this together. Move the Java moss out of the way. And I'll leave those out of the way for now too. Is that more grass up here? No. Okay, more plants. So we're gonna take off another real big chunk off this plant. Spread my little pinchers. And go ahead and snip it. There we go. There you go. Another nice big chunk right there. So now we can start shaping it a little bit. So cutting around the edges, clearing off any stray strands. Just giving it a little shape, making it look pretty. Because at the end of the day, that's what you want your planted tank to look pretty. Alright. Let's see. We got a whole bunch over here, which is kind of hiding the driftwood in the back. So maybe we'll clip down here and see what comes up. There we go. There we go, a little more. Now, right now, I'm only looking from the top, but that's because I'm only trying to like rough out a lot of it. When you start getting it to the general shape that you want, you're going to need to start looking at it from the front to make sure that it looks right. I'm going to have to scoop a lot of that out with the net. But let me go over here and check. For the algae, I had the same problem. I used Algae X by Easy Life to control it, and it's gone totally. Safe for shrimp and fish. Huh. Algae X by Easy Life. I will have to look into that one, because I've never really thought about using chemicals. I've always thought like, oh yeah, I'll use livestock to get rid of my algae, right? There we go. Come on, focus again. Change the lighting. It's a little better. But yeah, I've always thought about fish. I never actually gave it any thought to use any type of chemical, sort of say. Not chemical in like a bad sense, of course. But if it helped you, I bet it can help me. So, I actually do appreciate that. Look at you teaching me things. All these like little tiny pieces of cut plant. They'll get sucked up into the filter eventually. Okay. So I have this other bunch of algae right here that I am going to trim off a little bit. You know what? I'm going to use my hand. Go ahead and grab it, bring it all together, and trim off the tips. And just like that. Trim off some stray edges, a little bit of that plant right there. Bring that up. Hook it up. Okay. Let's see. Alright, I'm gonna start looking at this thing from the front because I've taken away quite a bit. So this leaf has got to go. I don't like it. And all of these stems, I'm gonna go ahead and try to trim those a little shorter. Just so it's harder to tell at a glance that I cut the leaves off. It's actually kind of hard to get to. There we go. Alright. So these over here, we'll go ahead and trim those. These coming up front. Those out of there. Got more Java moss? Man! Oh, that's when I tied it all to this piece of driftwood. Come on, there we go. And cut out all of this. Bring all that up and out. There we go. See, now we're starting to be able to see that piece of driftwood back there. And there are the tenants to my, or not tenants, I guess I'm the tenants in this efficiency. But I guess you'll figure out what I mean. Ah, I'm dropping tools in my tank. Let's see. Anything new? My battery is starting to get low. Give me a second. I'm gonna go grab my charger real quick. Okay. Alright, I am back. For any of you who are just joining, I had to go run and grab the charger for my phone so it doesn't end in the middle of this. If you are also, just joining, this is just me showing you live how I trim my fish tanks. Or fish tank, because I only have one now. Let's see if I can get this charger to reach. It's like bending right at the little end. There we go. Cool. I am all set. So, I do notice that I have an extra viewer, so hi, thank you for joining me. Let me give you a little rundown. This is my Fluval Flex. If you watch my channel, then you know quite a bit about it. My utensils that I'm using are my angled pinchers, my straight pinchers. I have curved shears, so that way it's easier to get around corners or around other plants, around my wood, my rock, all that stuff. And a net, so that way I can scoop out all of my plant clippings that are usually pretty small. I have a glass tray on a floor right in front of me, or right in front of the tank, so that way I don't have to go very far or make a big mess. I can just drop them without a worry. We've already trimmed it away quite a bit. These plants were like, this one here was at the top. Let me see real quick.
Hi. Wow, like now it's 5. She needs it like now.
Hi. So I am currently trying to buy a house and I have to fill out some paperwork. I will try to do it while this is up so I don't lose you. If it does turn off, I'll be back up shortly.
Just use my phone.
Alright, it looks like I didn't lose you. I don't know if like the feed went down or the sound went down or anything like that. Hi Mickey, thank you for the heads up, or the thumbs up. Did you find the CO2 works? I have a JBL U502 system to hook up also tonight. Where did it go? There we go. So my CO2 is working actually. You can see it in the back left hand corner. It's still spitting up bubbles. If you need me to run down anything specific on it, now would be the time to let me know, and I can show you literally how it's set up currently while it's running. Let's see here. Alright. So now, get back over here and plant some more plants because my grass is, for some reason, a lot of it is coming up out of the substrate. This one is so covered in algae that I am just gonna toss it. So, we got some more Java moss strands here. She's not looking too bad. Got a stem, but she's not exactly how I want her either. So, this is just me being picky. See, I don't want these plants touching the top of the water. So, I want there to be a little bit of space. It gives, for me at least, I think it gives more of the illusion that it's a deeper tank if the plants don't touch the top of the water. There we go. There we go. Cut a little more off the front because from the top I can see that it's sticking out. This edge here. Alright. See, that looks pretty good, but that doesn't look like it'll last long. This one right here, we'll cut her all the way at the bottom. I didn't mean to cut it, I wanted to pull it out. There we go. It's looking pretty decent. Let's see if I can push this back into the little hole. Kind of pull it out a little bit to try to fluff it up, make it look decent. Alright. Go ahead and grab my net. Gotta try and make sure you don't pick up any fish. Now, with the mesh that I put on my filter inlets, I do have to be careful with having too much of these little strands floating around, or too many of these little strands floating around, because it'll start blocking the water from getting in to the inlet, and it'll bring down the water level in the built-in sump. And as long as it doesn't go too low, it's not really a problem. But the less water that's in the sump means more water in the tank. And if your tank is really, really full, then you know it can overflow, which would be a very bad thing. A very bad thing. So, let me check if anybody's commented. No new comments. But definitely, Mickey, let me know if you need me to show you anything on here or explain anything a little better about my CO2 setup. I'm not familiar with the, I think you said it was what, JBL? The 502 system. But at the end of the day, you're just trying to get CO2 in your tank, just like me. So, it can't be too much different. So apparently I cut a little more than I thought, and now I'm pulling out all those stray pieces. Got some more Java moss stuck around over here. And another piece of grass. I don't know why. This grass loves to be uprooted. There we go. That out. This is a bigger one. Drop that out. Alright. So, here's some more Java moss. Oh my gosh, this stuff is everywhere. So I guess that can be a heads up for you guys. If you get some Java moss, it might be just because I kind of like trimmed some of the plants before and accidentally cut it and didn't notice it got everywhere. So just know that if you don't take out every single piece that you clip, it is going to start growing wherever it lands. All of these over here are getting real long. All of this. There we go. Starting to clear up. That one is caught on the plant. I'm gonna use my pinchers. Get down there and pull it out. There we go. Some of this, some of that. It takes a lot of time and a lot of to get your tank just how you want it. So, it is an investment of sorts. But if I can help you any, what I'm here for. Share my knowledge with you, share your knowledge with me, and the hobby becomes a better place for everyone. It's starting to look pretty good. Trying to pick out all these little strands. There's so many of them. So you can see them from one angle but not another. So you gotta look from every possible angle to get them all and see them all. I'm caught up in my plants. There we go. So I am pulling something out. I don't know which one I'm pulling or from where. There she is. There's another one. That one. More Java moss, man. I uprooted another one. I thought it was a clipping. It's fine, this stuff grows too fast anyways. I did notice since I put the AC, it did like have a growth spurt. It's calling me. 1 second. Okay, so Mickey. Yep, found that too with the water buildup in the first filter chamber in the flex. I added K1 filter media, an airstone, good nitrate, and ammonia killer. Nice. Also, I have not opened the box of the JBL yet. I think I should be okay. If I remember correctly, I watched your video on the CO2 a while ago. Well, depending on how long a while ago was, I did make a new one. So if you haven't seen my most recent one, it's a little better than the one before that because it's an entire like instruction on how I did it and all the stuff I bought. I put links in the description for all of my equipment, so if it's been a little while, too long. So go ahead and check that out just to make sure you're up to date with everything that I've done. Look at this Java moss. It's growing across like the floor. Maybe it just settled down over there. Here's another piece. They're starting to blend in with the grass. I can't tell the difference. What is this? More Java moss. Oh, this is actually starting to get kind of annoying with so much of it, man. And they're not like anchored to anything, so I guess they gotta be clippings that I haven't taken out yet. Okay, so let's see. Top left hand of these plants are curving down this way. That one right there is sticking out, so I'm gonna go ahead and clip that one. But while I'm there, this, nope, too high, there we go. These right here are still sticking up pretty tall, so I'm gonna go ahead and clip that and see if I can get it to go around like that. Or something like that, so I'm gonna have to trim some of these over here too. Let's see. After I do that, we'll see what I do about this sticking up right here. I'm holding way too many tools in my hand. So, this one was gonna go, and I cut the one behind it. It's just a stem, no big deal. These right here got to go. So now, trim that one, trim this one, trim that a little more, trim this Java moss a little more, this right here. Doesn't look too bad. This one's sticking up. There we go. I'll trim down this side a little bit. And I am behind the phone, so you can kind of get an idea of how I'm standing. I'm behind the phone, leaned over, my right hand over the tank with the scissors in it, snipping away, standing up, not sitting down, so I have like my left elbow on my knee, so I can have a good angle to look into this. Trying to get the right angle on my scissors. So let's see, because this one right here, looks pretty good. This one, see, right now it's not even a lot that I have to trim off to get it to shape how I want it. But now, from the side of it, oh wow, from the side of it, it actually looks pretty good. This right here is sticking up a little bit from the side, so I'll trim off a little bit of that. Trim off a little bit more up here, because in the back it's sticking up again. But you gotta find a happy place, because you can't just keep trimming and trimming and trimming until you have no plants, because then, you know, you have no plants. Oh, that one's already cut, and that one's already cut. So I'm actually okay with that. This one leaf, though, is being a little bit obnoxious. And now I don't like the whole top half of that plant. So we're gonna cut it. Alright, so actually, if I do cut off all of these and bring that down to about there, that's actually not too bad. Instead of them sticking up like that. So instead of cutting a lot at once, we will cut a little bit at a time. So, go ahead and drop that in. It's those two leaves. I kind of want like this plant right here in the front to be like the primary visual, I guess I could call it. So I'm gonna trim that down one more stem, because these plants, they grow in like sections. I'll show you so you can get an idea of what I'm talking about. So let me see if I can I don't have a flashlight nearby. Yes, I do. Okay. So, looking at this, you see where these two leaves join right here? That's like a knot. So there's a knot at every place the leaves shoot out. So, as you can see, if I turn it this way, there's a leaf up there at that knot. So, you can like trim it one notch at a time. As you see, I trimmed at the top of this last one to keep this leaf. So I trimmed at the top of the one that was underneath this one to keep all the leaves that were there. And I really like that, actually. I really like the way it looks. These are temple plants. I don't know if that's like what the aquarium store calls it, just cuz, or I don't know their scientific name, is what I'm trying to say. There goes my pinchers. But I think I might have that in my descriptions actually. So you can check that out. Alright. Clean this up a little more. We are almost done. As you get the water moving like this, stuff will come out of the crevices, and you'll end up picking up a lot more than you started with. Which isn't a bad thing. It helps keep down all that buildup on your inlets like I was talking about earlier. Alright. Go ahead and check that comment section again. See what you guys are up to. We'll check, thanks. Alright, Mickey, I'm glad I could help you out there. I know I haven't really been very consistent posting my videos, but I try. Whenever I can, I try. And for those of you just joining me now, I am simply trimming away at all of my plants. So I'll put this video up once I'm done, after I figure that out. And so you guys can watch it from the beginning and see what I started with and where I'm at now. I don't know if I'm actually done trimming though, because let's see. If you look down here, I have like that little sprout sticking out of the side. I might try to tuck that back in or just cut it and let it float up. Java moss looks decent. I have lots of growth on the rocks. The Java moss actually is starting to bind to the rock, so that is actually pretty cool. I haven't really had Java moss like that, so I didn't really know it could do that. But I do see a buildup. You guys can't really see it. Let me turn this down a little bit. There we go. I think that's Java moss down in there. That stuff just gets everywhere. Come on, little guy. Move out of the way. You are not scared of these pinchers at all. Yep, that is a little pile of Java moss. There's just so much of it. So when trimming Java moss, for those of you who just joined me, it gets everywhere. And I do have the pump for my filter off to try to keep the top of the water level so I can see in it, and it helps not blow all of the debris around once you cut it. But still, it gets everywhere. Let me go around to the other side. What happened to my scissors? Okay. So, you'll probably end up seeing a little bit of me in this little corner, like, okay. So, we're gonna go down here, and Those are growing off this side, so I'm just gonna clip them. Right there. There we go. And this over here. I like those stems that are going up. I thought about just clipping the whole stem, but I could see that in the future, those stems in the back, when they get a little taller, maybe next time instead of rounding it around the top, make it more like come down to here and go up this way like a ramp, sort of say. See how that looks. Could have done it this time, but I already trimmed it, so a little too late for that. Here's a dead stem here. Go ahead and trim that off. Trim that piece of grass just because it's getting so tall. But it is, I think I might have to call that done. I hope you guys think it looks nice, because I sure do. And get some of those clippings out of here though. Oh, for those of you just joining me, I'm not throwing my clippings on the floor. I have a glass tray on the floor. So that way it's more convenient. I can just drop them in there and then take the tray and dispose of my clippings. Or give them to my brother. One of the two. Got this little strand floating around. Just cleaning up all those little strands that you cut has got to be the most tedious part of this. Because it is just, it's hard to find them all, see them all, and take them all out. Let's see. This. LOL perfectionist. Well,
Exactly.
Well, you know what? It's when, how do I explain this?
Yeah, exactly.
Let's see. When you make something, when you do something, when you build something, when you work on something, you see every single little defect. Although other people might not see it, you do. So there's one floating down to the bottom.
See, don't even listen to him. He's just a perfectionist.
It-
Trying to come up with excuses.
I mean, you want it to be just right because you made it. And let's say some other perfectionist comes along and sees it. You don't have to worry about him judging you and being like, hey, you missed that one piece of Java moss right there. It's not perfect. You know, like, you don't gotta worry about that. Trim some more of these because they are getting a little long. And I'm gonna trim on the side just to try to keep it away from the edge of the tank. Just like I trimmed these to keep it away from the top. If you keep it away from the edges, it kind of gives you the illusion that it's a bigger tank because it's not touching its limit. If that makes sense. I am going to lose so many of these little strands. It is going to drive me insane. I should have pinched that with my pinchers before cutting it. Oh, no. How can I do this? I'm going to try to, like, swoosh it into my net, maybe? Hopefully. Oh, that wasn't terrible. Oh, let's see. Got a couple more flipping around the top now. Ah! Oh my god. Now they're everywhere. You know what? Let me just finish cutting it first. Oh, man. There we go. This makes me feel like I'm cutting hair. And I don't like it because it gets everywhere. This and hair. Push that back in a little bit. There we go. Trim off just a little bit more. There we go. Alright, hurry up with the net and try to catch some of this stuff. Let's see. Go. Grab this. Put it in my little net. See, there's a pile here. Put that in the net. A little bit more there. See, now because it is a plant, and if I do miss any pieces, once it starts growing, I'll be able to see it better, so I can take it out then. I just have to make sure I take it out before anybody comes over and looks at my tank. There is more inside of these plants. Oh my gosh. That's a whole lot. You'll find that you get into like these awkward stances that are completely unnecessary, but it makes you feel like you can see stuff better. And who knows? Maybe I actually do feel or see stuff better. Man, it's almost like never ending. There are too many of these dang things. And there goes a little bit of the leaf. Man, my grass is covered in algae. I wonder if that algae fix, I don't remember what it was called. I wonder if that'll get it off of the plant or if that'll just kill it and then I need a fish to take it off of the plant. I guess we'll see. Hey, Mickey. Oh, I know. Sure, I'm currently using super glue to stick Anubis, and it went away. There it is. Anubis to my dragonstone. The tiny detail makes all the difference in the end. Thank you for understanding me. I appreciate that very much. But I think I'm gonna call it done. I am actually pretty happy with it. Except for this one strand right here. It makes the side of the rock look weird. But other than that, I like it. I like it a lot. I may end up taking this one out if the grass grows in much more full, I guess I could say. If it starts to carpet really well. And most people don't notice it, but I do have, I think it's like a micro sword, or not micro sword, but just like a sword plant right there, all the way in the back by the inlet, the bottom inlet. And she has not changed in size ever since I've gotten this tank, or gotten that plant actually. It has stayed the exact same size, exact same color, exact same everything. So next I'm gonna need, let's see, what was it called? Algae Exit by Easy Life. Okay. So I'll probably end up getting that and some like autocats or something, just so I have something killing the algae and then I have something else eating it, and hopefully once it's all gone, the autocats will maintain it at a decent level where it's not so noticeable. Keep the plants clean so they can do their photosynthesis thingy. Yeah, it just seemed to vanish over a few days. Alright, cool. So I might not need the autocats. I'll just try the fix it, the algae fix, or algae X first. And maybe a mono shrimp. I think they eat it too. Well, I actually did buy one Amano shrimp, and I haven't seen him in a few months or so. So, like, I don't know what happened to him. I don't know if he, like, jumped into, like, one of the spaces in the back, or maybe Winter ate him, the beta fish, which I haven't really seen Winter either. Where did he go?
We just tend to lose fish in that tank.
But lose them as in like lost, not lose them as in die.
Like no, they wouldn't even get lost in that tank.
I really don't see Winter though. Like I don't know where he went.
He's either in the rock or he's like deep at the bottom of it.
Well, I don't see him in the rock. I'm gonna get in your way real quick. You're gonna get a nice view of the back of my head. No, I don't. You see?
Well, on live, you see our fish leaves and then comes back.
Yeah. I guess he like teleported to a new world or something. Oh, nope. I spotted him. I'm gonna take the camera. They can climb, jump into the rear of the filter. I found some in there. Maybe I need a shrimp army. I would like a shrimp army. That square tank that I built, I wanted to do that as a shrimp tank. But if I take this thing off real quick. Let's see if I can get a shot of him from over here. There he is. Just chilling behind all of the plants, all of the decor. Chilling like a villain. He does that. You can kind of see him right there at the tip of my finger. You can see like the bluish reddish color. So maybe if I do turn my cube tank that I built into a shrimp tank and they start breeding a whole bunch, I can throw some of them into here and then have a shrimp army. I like the way that sounds. I'm just worried that the beta will eat the shrimp and eat too many, overfeed himself, and then that can cause stomach problems with him. So that's another thing I got to be careful with. But the Amano shrimp, they do get pretty big, so they might work pretty well. I know some ghost shrimp get pretty big, but I don't really think they eat a lot of algae. I'll have to look into that one. Let's see, how do I... Well, I'm actually all done in my tank, so I see something sticking up. It was an eyesore. And then, let's see. Because I can see it on the camera, but I can't see it in person. That was it. Okay, cool. Now I gotta grab my net again and pull this stuff out again. See what I mean? It's tedious. Very, very tedious process. Now the fun part is, I shaped that with the filter off. So now that I turn the filter on, or when I turn the filter on, it might not hold the same shape. And I went through all of this work for nothing. So let's go ahead and turn that on and find out. Alright, 3, 2, 1. Let the current start moving. It's kicking up a whole bunch of stuff. You always got to keep an eye out for little fish, if you have little fish. Because it can be really easy to scoop them up and not even notice it. And there's a giant piece of grass that I got to replant. You see what I mean? The grass just comes up. Like, I need that stuff to root itself well, and it doesn't. I also got to add a little bit of water to this tank. There we go. I'm gonna call that pretty good. Go ahead and grab this little piece of grass. There we go. Where do I want to plant you? Here's an open space. There we go. Okay. That looks pretty good. Until I look at it from this angle and then I see this another piece of Java moss. Oh my gosh. It is going to be a never-ending battle. Next video, battle against Java moss, like. Tank War 1. Well, let's see, any new comments? Glue your grass roots to a tiny stone, easy to plant and should stay in place then. That is a very good idea. I never thought of that. Go to like the hardware store or something, pick up some small pebbles, a bag of pebbles. I got a lot of grass, so that's going to be a lot of work. That is a very good idea, though. I just might have to try it. Just might have to try it. But, Mickey, you are the only person left in this live stream. I think you were the first to join, and you stuck through it for the whole duration, so I thank you directly and fully. Thank you for supporting me and watching my videos, and right now actually helping me make my tank a better place, and I hope I can make your tank a better place for all fish of all types. So I know you subscribe. You did well, a good job with the tank tonight. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. For when I post this video, if you aren't already subscribed to me, I please ask you to subscribe, and it'll keep you updated with the updates on my tank and all the things that I do to it. If you have any questions or comments or anything of any sort, you can leave it down in the comment section below. Don't be afraid to comment on any of my old videos if you have any questions about them. Just because they're old does not mean that I don't look at them. I do notice comments that do pop up on old videos, and I do my best to respond. So maybe not right away, but I do try. But I think that's gonna be all for tonight. So till next time, you guys, thank you for watching, and please hit the like button. Oh my god, I cannot talk. Hit the like button and the little notification bell icon for subscriptions to know every time I upload a video.
Sorry, I can't help with that yet.
I did not ask you for anything, Google, okay? Thank you, though, for always listening. Alright, so on that note, goodbye.